This meeting's called to order at 6:03 p.m., May 8th, 2017. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States and Texas flag.
Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we are thankful for the blessings that are ours because of your grace and your mercy. We thank you, dear Lord, for the gift of life that you've given to each one of us. And Lord, we pray that you'd help us to use that gift that it might be profitable unto thee. Lord, we pray that you take this time, that you lead and guide, that we might do the things pleasing in thy sight and beneficial to our community in general and to our citizens in particular. Lord, we pray that you just bless us, and we also ask that you forgive us where we failed you and sinned against you. We'll ask these things in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Brandon Thomas.
Here.
Rick Jordan.
Here.
Tom Brandenburg. Amanda Willows.
Here.
Let the record show absent Tom Brandenburg. Also present Mayor Bart Jaton, City Attorney David Hamilton, and Interim City Secretary Tricia Smith taking the minutes.
Move to item 7, public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, there was one person signed up on the public forum, Mr. Stephen Terrell. I don't know if he's going to appear in this, but there's one name on the document there. On item 6.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
In your packet, you have something we're going to talk about down here on the business minutes. I want to talk to it a little bit, and it's PrintWorks. I want to tell you just a little bit about it, if you don't mind, and then tell you what we would like the council to vote on today. Really 2 items, if I could put both of them on the agenda. When we started out a business in Reno, we started out in the garage of my house 6 years ago. Built a business into screen printing and embroidery and custom apparel, and it led into further down the road now promotional type products. As we started growing, we acquired a facility that wasn't for sale, but we got an opportunity to get it, and it's right here across from Crazy House. We've taken that facility, invested a lot into it, and we built up a really good business. Last year, we had a fantastic year. We opened up a location early in the year at Mount Pleasant. Later in the year, we opened up our 3rd location in Sherman. And this year, we've got outside sales in the Greenville area. And what it does is it's bringing all volume to this area. We manufacture everything here. We have sales locations in those other towns. So as we started growing, we ran out of room in this facility. And so we started looking, where do we want to build a facility? And so we've talked a lot about it. We've been working on it for probably a year, and we've looked at a lot of land, and we had the opportunity for a piece of land in front of Canaan Land. And it's a beautiful 10-acre piece of land. And by the grace of Sherry Holbert and Kyle Costin and Colt Holbert, we have the opportunity to purchase that piece of land. We went through zoning to rezone it into commercial. And so we have a lot of mix of business going around, and to be open and honest, probably 90% of it's outside of Reno, at least. And so we could have a sales location in the area, but again, me being born and raised here, and most of our team in this area, we really would like to put our headquarters into Reno. And so in this piece of land, and build a really nice facility. We need probably double the space we have now to continue manufacturing where we are. And currently we have 27 total team members. We think we'll be easily at 30 before the end of the year, and then going into next year will be a good footstep into even more. So in your packet, I just want to, is this the time? Can we go over it now? Or do we need to wait till we get to that agenda item?
Well, I need to wait.
Okay,
It's only supposed to be 3 minutes.
okay.
But
I didn't know you had an agenda item. I would immediately.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
Your name's on the sheet.
All right.
People have an opportunity to speak up.
Okay,
If I know there was an agenda item.
I'm sorry. We want to,
So we'll close the public hearing at this time at
Okay.
6:10 PM, and then we'll move to item 9A, the proposed site plan for 6955 Lamar. Now we can
now we'll
do whatever you want to do.
There we go.
There we go. So, one, we believe that wherever we made the place to call home for a headquarters as we manufacture screen print and embroidery and invest even more, we want it to be a partnership. And so if you look at the very first page of your packet, we've sort of redone it a little bit. Instead of it being the city of Reno, this is a redone, although it's y'all's agenda for a building permit application, but it's a partnership between Printworks and the city of Reno. And so we sort of redone it to show that. We've gone through everything, and we just want to talk about it and show it to you a little bit. The commercial check and our builders and all that, that's all in Tricia's packet. So we made one copy of that. We got all that certified, so you can look at that. The first page, we just want to show you what the facility would look like. We want the city and people who come into the city to be just as proud of it as we are. So we have spec'd out a facility that's 13,000 square feet, has a lot of glass on the front, has 2 porches, one's 21 feet tall, and the other 2 are 16 feet tall. So it'd be something to really proud of. We had a lot of opportunity as we grow. We've got some big clients such as Big Tex and Preferts, and some in Sherman called Tyson Foods and Nature Source, and people of that nature that request to visit the headquarter facility to see where it's manufactured. And so we want a really, not that we don't have a nice place, we want something even prettier, and to be able to bring them and showcase our facility. And I think it'd be nothing but good to bring people through the town, some of these companies as well. So that's the front of the facility. We'll flip through this quick if that's all right. Site plan to scale. If you look at this, the 10-acre tract, it's a beautiful piece of land, and what we want to do is we want to keep it like that. So we made a promise when we bought it to the memory of Curly that we would make sure that this thing was upkept properly, and there's no one better to do it than we are. We'd make sure this thing looks like a golf course. So if you look at the facility, there'd be parking in the front, there'd be parking around the side for employees. On the other side, there's a leadership team parking, and there'd be an entry point, and then around the back, you'd have a delivery drop-off point, and then back out to a side road. Our plan is to concrete the entire facility around the outside as well. That's our plan. That's what we've got the bids to do, because we want it to flow nice. We want it to look good, and we'd like to landscape it. I'm not going to go through all this unless you have any questions, but I'm going to flip through it pretty quick. Location of plumbing and electrical, you could see all the electrical fixtures that we would have in it. We want to do the state-of-the-art LED fixtures, both inside and out. You can see where we'd have plumbing. This is a layout of the facility from the offices to what we call a dark room, and then all the way to the manufacturing. Frame plan and roof plan. The plan, again, the front peak is going to be about 21 feet tall, 16 on the 2 other porches next to it. The facility is going to be 12-foot sidewalls with a little piece on the front that's 4 feet, so it'd be 16 feet tall in the front, 12 down the sides. It'd be a 112 pitch roof, and that would be 15.3 feet in the center and then 12 feet on the sidewalls. I am the owner of the land and also of Printworks. I reside at 384 County Road 42570. The address for this property, 6955 Lamar Avenue. Construction plan, existing structures, pretty much the same. Let's go to setback distances from surrounding properties or from the property lines. We're looking at 118 feet back from the road front, 72 feet back from the side entry road. So plenty of setback room, but also not far enough away that it's not visible when you're coming down 82. Easement road is part of that property. The easement road back to Canaan land. That's what that road is. Floor plan, location of water and sewer taps. They're both on this side of 82. Pretty sure. Framing, electrical, and plumbing subcontractors. Plus we have the other ones as well. dimensions and drainage arrows. This is important. That land was in that family for almost 75 years. One of the things that Curly, if you knew that family, Curly Holbrook did, was he made sure that that land was cleaned up, was leveled as it can possibly be, and that it drained properly. So if you walk that piece of land, water comes in from the back by Canaan Land and then down this other field. That's the arrows coming in it. There's a ditch down one side of it, down the back of it, down the middle of it, and then it drains down the right side of it. So we would leave all that draining properly like it is, and there's one point of drainage in the center that we would move back just slightly. And what that would do is that would allow water coming from the back corner to split and go down to the two city drains down by the road front there. So we would make sure that this land drains properly. Distance from surrounding property is 286 feet from the side property line where the warehouse is. From the back of the facility, 714 feet, and then again 118.72 from the front and side. So plenty of land, obviously, but also plenty of setback, not too far. I don't know. I think the rest of it's in Trish's. There's also a building permit that we filled out, and then the comm check that we went through online, which was quite lengthy, but it's a green light on that. So the first item we're asking for is that we went to the planning and zoning. It's rezoned for commercial. They approved the plans as presented. We'd like the city council to also approve the plans as presented and partner with us to make sure that we can build a nice facility in the city. I'd like to add a second thing on that as well. We've been very good stewards of City of Reno, and we've been to several of the boards, and we've talked about our growth back when we had nine team members, all the way to now that we got 27. And all the way to the road, we've set very strategic plans, and we hit them because we're very focused on doing so. We've never asked for anything from the city. We go into some of these other cities, Mount Pleasant, Sherman, to be honest, we ask for some help. We ask for grants. We ask for some help to get us up and going so we can be a valuable part of that community. We've never asked for the City of Reno, and our plans still not to do that, other than just to be part of it and y'all partner with us. We would like to ask for one small thing. We would like to ask for this project to waive the building permit fees. We think that working with Trish, how much it would cost for us to build a facility and the permit fees that would go with that. We'd like the city to vote on waiving those building permit fees and allowing the partnership to build a facility like this in the city of Reno. So we'd like to request that. So we're thinking about $2,500 building permit fee, if we figured it right. Any questions on that agenda item?
How many square feet?
It's going to, the inside of the facility is set at 12,800 square feet under roof without the porches in the back. So one of the things we're doing on the back of the facility to eliminate some cost, instead of having a dock to back diesels in and drop off, we're building a 20-foot covered drive-through. So you could drive through, drop off on the cover, and then it'd be apparel and stuff would be able to be pulled into the facility. Save a little bit of cost and also a little bit of backing in and out from trucks. So there's a little bit more square feet, and of course around it there's going to be quite a bit with the parking and the way we want to do a drive around and all, for sure. Definitely long-term investment, though, for the business and for our area. And I'd like to add, do I got 3 minutes or no? I got a couple more done. All right. Let me take this mic out. I'd like to add that we've done a very good job in the facility we are, and we've made Miss Mary Scroggins very proud. Her and her husband own that facility, and we've cleaned that thing up inside and out. If you've never had a chance to look on the inside of that thing, it is absolutely gorgeous. And I don't just say that because I own it. We worked really hard to make it like that, and the outside too. So not only do we have the opportunity to build something bigger to suit our needs as we grow, but also we're providing, another, what I consider probably more prime than this piece of land that we got the opportunity for, because it's right across from Crazy House where we are. Just a prime location, a beautiful building. So we'll leave that to be able to move another business or a service into that area as well. All right. All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
We're going to reopen the public hearing now, item 7 at 6:30. 6:17 PM to, do we have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we do a zone change at 6955 Lamar Road from agriculture to commercial as requested by Sherry Holbert.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve the zone change at 6955 Lamar Road from agriculture to commercial. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We're going to close the public hearing at 6:18 PM and move to item 9B, sign variance for Recyclers Depot. Mr. Glick, Mr. Jones.
Let's go around. Definitely want to take a moment, thank all the council members and mayor for your time hearing us here today. And thanks for letting us come to Reno. It's been a great year. Good for our business. Hopefully it's been good. As good for the community of Reno. We're very happy to be here and feel fortunate and blessed every day to be in this community. And personally, I'm excited for the other new businesses come to Reno and just lots of good news. What we're here to talk about today is a sign. When we originally went through and did the variance, we requested a sign, and I'll have to lean on the city attorney a little bit. I think the original spec was 10 foot by 5 foot. We finally got around to it, got all the bids in, and started laying the logos out. It didn't exactly, stretch out that way. In sum, what we're looking for today is a small variance to the variance to allow for a little taller sign, close to about 6 feet 1 inches, and that just accommodates the logos a little more. As I said, business is good. We're happy to be in the community. One of the challenges facing us and growing is being a new business, just awareness in the marketplace. So still have people walk in and say, I didn't know y'all are here. And I will just confess, I've driven by our business just because it is so tucked away behind those trees. So having a nice big sign out in front would be very beneficial to us and allow us to grow our business even more and help the community. The 3 options you kind of see laid out. Options 1 and 2 are essentially the same. The difference is in the silver background, whether that would be a diamond plate pattern or just a silver metallic. Option 3 is the one that we're really talking about, and that's where you stretch it out to a full 6 feet 1 inches on the height, and it would be 10 foot wide. Below that, there's a red kind of LED display, and that's where we would display, maybe scrap prices for the day, or if we're doing a discount on auto parts, just promotional stuff. And that would be 1.5 feet high. By 9.5 feet wide. Would be mounted on a single pole. The bottom of that sign would be about 12 feet. So you add 1.5 and 6 to that, and so you're about 19.5, approximately 20 feet altogether. Then that would be 10 to 12 feet back from the power lines for safety, and approximately centered on the property. It won't be skewed to one edge. Then it's about a 6-week lead time to get it built, so we appreciate y'all kind of fast tracking this, getting it on the agenda, and hopefully we can get it approved and then work. If y'all have any questions or...
So how many square feet? 60?
Yeah, approximately. A little bit lawyer math there, so somebody check me.
Yeah.
Be careful.
We don't have, Tricia, anything in the ordinance, sign ordinance, that has prohibiting a scroll
Yes.
I didn't see anything in there. I included copies of it in your packet, but I didn't see anything in there on that.
Those bullet signs that people used to pull out there before the digital age hit us, and those are good. I think scrolling is made it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. One thing we'd be looking at the variance would be on the square foot size, right? Like right now it's 32, which is not very big anyway.
Right.
I mean, that's small.
Plywood.
Yeah, it's just a sheet of plywood. So, well, Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve the sign variance for Recyclers Depot.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve the sign variance change for Recyclers Depot. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
We need to back up to item 9A and get a motion on the proposed site plan for 6955 Lamar.
Didn't we do that?
No, you approved the changing it to
Oh.
ag to business. Now you've got a site plan that needs to be approved.
Motion to approve that.
Before we do that, I was just going to mention that the EDC has certain funds, of course, I can't speak for them.
This ain't to do with the building permit, this is a site plan.
Yeah, but it was still over what we're talking earlier. That could help with any kind of permits that he might need. So,
Okay.
Good point.
So do I need to add that in?
So, you wanted to address that now? Or just something discuss later? Yes.
We'd have to talk to them, I guess, you said
Yeah.
about that.
So just go with that.
I just wanted to say that before.
Okay. So just go with it? Okay. I make a motion that we approve the proposed site plan for 6955 Lamar Road.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Willows, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve the proposed site plan for 6955 Lamar Road. All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna skip all the way to 9K. Update on proposed Public Works building. We have someone here representing HWH to talk about it.
We have a few different things I want to discuss about the building since it's on here. One is I've got the hard copy of the plans here. If anybody wants to see them in the break room, I can bring them in if y'all want anything right now. The other thing is, of course, our financing options, but also the bid process. First, we'll talk from HWH a little bit about some options on the bid process.
So, we got the drawings completed, and he's taking a look at them. I guess y'all will review them today. I just got to review them today also. But when we're talking about procurement, you know, a lot of times there's multiple ways that you can procure the building. You can either, put it out for public bid, just a general hard bid. You're able to do CMAR, CM agent, construction manager type. Smaller projects, you really don't see that done very often. We're also a member of TIPS. I don't know if y'all heard of TIPS in the past. It's the interlocal purchasing system, and that's based out of Region 8 in Mount Pleasant. We've used TIPS on many public projects. whether it be in schools, cities, municipalities, things like that, government, counties. And what TIPS does is TIPS is just, it's just, the bidding process has already been done for you. The process has been done for you already. We submit through their job program every 2 years. They gave Trish some information to hand out to y'all, but they do the same thing as what you're going to do. They go out to the newspapers and solicit proposals for contractors, and it goes before their board. They're graded, and you have to meet all the qualifications that you're going to have to meet for the city. With the project being over $25,000, you're going to have to be bonded. You're going to have insurance. Sometimes with a hard bid scenario, if you come in and you get a contractor that's low bid, whether they're qualified or not, you can kind of be stuck with that, and that something that TIPS does, they pre-qualify all of us. So it's voted on by their board, and then we're approved as a vendor. But it's for y'all to move forward with that. I mean, pretty much Trish just has to sign up with TIPS, and there's no fee for y'all to be on TIPS. I think y'all do use buy board already, so TIPS is the same thing as buy board. Their fees are just not as great to us as contractors. And I kind of prefer TIPS because they put back into our local schools. It is based out of Region 8, so a lot of the money that they do generate for that region goes back into more Crayley and Chisholm, all of our local schools. So I see on both sides how beneficial it is. So I'm a big proponent of TIPS instead of buy board, but they do the same things. But if we wanted to move forward and do this project under TIPS, like I said, we just got the drawings today. We could put a number to that for y'all, or through our standard procedure. We could present that to y'all if that meets y'all's budget, or if you're happy with that, we're able to just sign it up and get started right away. We don't have to go through all the other steps because we've already been approved as a vendor for TIPS. You have any questions about that, or how that process would work?
Just if you're thinking about the competitive bid process, I communicated with TML today about this program, and the lawyer down there said he wasn't familiar with it, but it's a purchasing co-op, and there's a statute in the local government code that says if you use them, you have complied with the competitive bidding process in Texas. So what this gentleman is saying is accurate.
And we've used it on multiple lighting projects. We built buildings. Queen City was a building that we built, and it really works well for projects of this size, especially $1 million, $1.5 million and under. Something that you want to do. So it's a good process for it.
But you don't have any numbers as of yet?
No, like I said, we got the drawings. I mean, we can. I was talking to him today. I mean, we're probably looking at, I think it was the 19th, which is about 2 weeks. We could probably get that turned around and get it back to him, and they can present that to you.
How long does it take to sign up? That's it, and then you're in. There's no back and forth, no waiting.
We have to do all the hard stuff up front. We've already, we do all of our bidding process. So once we're qualified, it's pretty simple.
I kept waiting for the Saudi Arabian prince with the bank account thing to show. But it didn't happen.
And it's no different from buying a copier or a bus, or if the price meets your budget. I mean, it's a simple way to procure something. Now, if it doesn't meet your budget, something we'll need to look at.
Jerry, is this your recommendation?
Was that something we need a motion on? I mean,
Mayor,
it's not on there. I mean,
I'll make a motion that we use TIPS
as presented by the representative from HWH.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Willows to use the tips as recommended by the representative from HWH. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Thanks, sir.
Still open. To discuss anything else on that? Okay. Or we can come back to the film if you got something else. We also need to discuss our financing options and figure out where we want to go with that. They should put it back in the packet again today for with the options.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
It should be sitting in your seat. Have it sitting in your seat.
Got it. Never, got it.
There you go.
There he is.
Well, I thought I had it. We've looked at all these several times. Me and Trish have looked at it and talked about it. It looks like it's government capital is going to be what we want to go with. We have two different options. One's a 7-year note, one's a 10-year note. We discussed the down payment and then paying out the rest, which would be, that's what I would like to see us do, so we can paying it down where it's not causing any problems anywhere. Would be go with government capital for the 7-year along with the down payment. And that's about as good an interest rate as you're going to give it, so. I guess we just need information on who to pursue, who you guys would like us to go with, but
We looked at this last month and, like I said, that government capital had the best rates.
The only issue I have with them is, and it's a moot point, because we can't finance locally according to state statutes.
Can if you want to pay it off in the calendar year.
Calendar year.
No.
Thank you, Counselor.
Just trying to be helpful.
They do charge us $21,000 issuance costs.
But I think right now we just need to know if you want us to pursue that one, and that's where we can go get an official quote and get everything, and bring it all back next month.
So this isn't,
Well, I don't know, I guess it is official quote.
That came from government capital. It's the last one she said.
So,
There is a gentleman that has left government capital in the last year and a half, named Ron Griner. He's opened up another company called Live Oak Financial, which is one of the other options. We have worked with him quite a bit in the past on projects like this. Pretty good rates. I don't know if you have a quote on that, if you have any questions on that, but I'm happy to share the information on what it is.
Does he charge an issuance fee?
I would, you'd have to call him.
He'd almost have to, if he's a
of course they have.
security.
Yeah, if it's a certificate of obligation,
Yeah.
they're going to charge.
bonds,
It's a,
yeah.
Well, we could do that also because we couldn't make a decision on this tonight anyway.
I mean, we can. We could.
We can.
I could. I mean, I don't know of anything unless you think something to keep us from it.
because if we don't, then we're gonna be at next month's meeting,
And then,
and month down the road, and then we're gonna be another month later.
right. So,
Unless we do wanna get some information from
the one that we really probably want to go with would be the 261,000 one for 7 years, right? The top sheet,
Yeah, with the down payment.
instead of the full amount.
Right. That keep our payments down a little bit.
Have you seen this amount? I mean,
No, I haven't. So, I know those guys, and we work with them. Couple guys that have left there and started on his basement.
I guess what I was getting at is, his figures will meet these, right?
As far as we went so far, they're supposed to be in the ballpark, yeah. As far as our estimate.
Give or take that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna go off of that, the estimate that they gave us, that,
As far as I've been told, yeah.
Are you using your money that you had,
Yes.
all of it?
No, just, what?
refund, isn't it? From the-
Yeah, just that refund that we had.
Refund back.
Not what we had back in
The milestone.
reserves. Right.
But,
200,000?
it was actually 240, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, but I think we decided to go with the 200,000, and if we needed anything, we would for a down payment.
keep that in case that
Right.
goes on.
Well, Mayor, I'm going to make a motion that we use government capital securities for the financing of the Public Works building, and the interest rate at 2.65, the term 7 years, at the total loan amount of $261,000. The annual payments of $41,341.31.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve government capital securities for an amount of loan certificate of obligation for an amount of $261,000 with annual payments of $41,341.31. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jerry.
You want to talk about that claim while you're talking? Item 9J.
Claim for our building after this past storm, part of the ceiling fell in and we had some water damage, had some damage in my office, computer, desk. We called TML, they sent an adjuster out, an estimator, I guess. He looked it over, and this was what they come up with. I know Trish had contacted them again to see if they'd get a second opinion, just to kind of see if they were close or what the deal was, because it sounded kind of low to me.
In your packet, I left a briefing sheet too, and it just basically explains the total cost of repairs, the price of depreciation, the cash value, the deductible, the total amount of the claim. And they stated if we get 2 contractors to come out and look at it and see if it would be more than what they figured, then they would take that into consideration too. So, and if we and when we build a new building, we'll get all of our depreciation back too.
And you don't, you requested another adjuster to come
But you don't know when he's coming, right?
I did request another adjuster come, but then she asked if we could get 2 contractors to come out and look. So I guess that's gonna be the next person looking at it, and then we can give her their totals, so she can consider that.
That's pretty much where we're at. I think that's the outcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9C, de-annexation ordinance for property ID 100584 on the corner of Highway 82 and Mansfield Road.
Mr. Attorney, can this be done?
Not by you guys. I have researched this annexation statutes in Texas, and I've contacted attorney with TML. The land itself, there has to be a minimum of 10 acres contiguous to the municipality in order for the mayor and the council by ordinance to discontinue the area as part of the municipality. When I got the description of the legal, it contains like 6.6. So there's not enough acreage in there for that to happen. The other 2 provisions both start off with the initial issue being qualified voters who live in the annexed area, and there's nobody living. So you don't have any qualified voters, the land's not big enough. That doesn't mean the owner can't do anything if the owner still wants out. It just means that this is not the process for that to happen, because neither the land nor the occupancy of it meets the standard for that. We've done it in the past where people live in places and haven't got city services or just haven't been out, and there's a petition presented and you vote. But this one doesn't appear that there's a device for it. Not in this venue.
We're kind of our hand at this time.
Well, that's my opinion, that you guys don't get to make that decision, basically. It's got to go somewhere else.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move on to item 9D, purchasing of a new vehicle for police department.
Here I am again. Same information as we discussed earlier. Crime Patrol Board decided to purchase the new vehicle with the contingency on the fund balance in the Crime Patrol budget being enough to make the first payment, and that the payment cannot be made before September 30th, 2017 this year.
So we just need to kind of re-quote what we did earlier. Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve purchasing a new vehicle for the police department through government capital for the amount of $25,313.30 for the first payment. That would not begin before September 30th, 2017.
I'll second.
Have a motion on item 9D, purchase of a new vehicle for the police department by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item 9E, going out for bids for a building inspector.
We haven't been out for bids for a building inspector in quite a while, and been brought here. There might have been a couple of complaints about one of the inspections in the process and communication for that. So it's being brought to you guys for permission to go out to bids.
Anything else?
I move to go ahead and allow the city to go out for bids for building inspector.
A second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, second by Councilmember Willows to approve going out for bids for a building inspector. All in favor? Item 9F, cemetery rules recommended by cemetery committee.
In your packet, you'll find the cemetery rules the cemetery committee adopted. Hamilton helped us out quite a bit by giving us some samples of rules. And they picked a sample that they liked and they worked it out, plugged our information in there, and this is going to be the basic first set of rules for us to build on.
I read through it, and I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. No objections to it. And Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve the cemetery committee's recommendations for adopting the list of rules for the Union Grove Cemetery.
A second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve item 9F, cemetery rules recommended by city cemetery committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 9G, update on cemetery plat process.
This one's fun. You gonna help me out, Hamilton?
Yeah, the man who did the plat process appeared, and I was here for the last cemetery committee meeting, and he had an invoice for like $11,000 and some change, almost at $12,000 that had been approved. The cemetery committee was not in agreement that he had completed the project, and that the reason for that was they wanted a grid system of numbering that was kind of contiguous, where it could look like A1, and then all A's, and then 1s, and then B's, and like that, so it would make it easy for people to look it up and the city could track it. And that didn't appear to be what was done. There were some lots out over here that were numbered differently than these other ones, and the committee didn't like it. And so there were repeated officers. I think Trish talked to him and Brown talked to him and got no favorable response. And then in the committee meeting, there was an offer of how can we fix this? And all he would ever say is, I've done the job and I want to get paid. The cemetery committee didn't think he had done what was required of him in the contract. There was also an issue of how soon the city got this product, because the last plat they had at City Hall here didn't have numbers on some of the plots. And that day during the meeting, he brought in another plat that had numbers all over it, and he said that he had already sent it.
But you didn't get it.
Well, nobody on the committee nor the staff had seen it before then. So the committee was faced with trying to understand how he had tried to complete it, at the same time negotiating with him for his fees in sometimes kind of contentious atmosphere. And the end result was that before the committee even took a vote, he left. He walked out and said he wanted to check and left. So at the insistence of the committee, I wrote a letter that said, right now, the city doesn't think you completed what you were hired to do. And if there's a way to work it out, then we'll be happy to talk to you about it. But we think the project was not finished how it was promised, so there. And that's my part of it, and I'm sticking to it.
And as far as us not approving the numbering, is because it's going to be a mess in the future. Because like certain graves were, like you said, numbered differently, so as more people are buried, the numbers are gonna be so confusing, and we're just gonna be right back to where we are.
Well, as someone on the outside looking in, I looked at that plat that he did for 5 minutes. Now, I couldn't look at it any longer because I was getting a headache. I couldn't figure out what was up or down or anything. I couldn't make sense of anything.
I mean, there's one row,
It's just
Once
it's like doing bingo. It's just,
Yeah.
let's put it there.
there's
Let's
one
put this
row,
one here.
once we bury more, we're gonna have to go negative numbers, and it's, yeah.
And he has the ability and the knowledge to redo the plat. It's something that would be pretty generic and pretty routine for him, where for us to do it, for the staff to do it, will be a project. And he's just obstinate that he is not wanting to redo it.
But that was in connection with what the Mayor Pro Tem is saying, that is exactly his position, that he's done it and the city can manipulate this data however they want to manipulate it. And I'm telling you, it would take considerable hours of staff time to do it. Because I looked at it too and I said, I don't know how you'd find some places.
You start over.
He's not interested in finishing?
Not at all.
Mr. Mayor, he was given a couple of opportunities to say, yeah, I'll step up, and Mr. Brown was very gracious and said, is there something we can do? How can we come together and do this? And it was nope, I'm not another step.
He's obstinate.
Well, I don't want to pay someone if they haven't finished the job that they were hired to do. And if we hire someone, and I know that probably in the contract it wouldn't, we want it exactly like this to like exactly like this. Of course, most contracts aren't like that, because if you say we want to get this building painted, well, you would send it out to get it, bids on getting it painted. Well, you don't really put in the bid, I want the trim in this color and this part in this color. It's just to get it painted. Well, if you tell them that you want it painted white, they paint it blue. After you told them you want it white, then they have to go back and repaint it.
It was pretty well cut and dried on that paper that he had, the drawing of everything.
Yeah, and that was part of it too, is he said, well, I'm gonna do a discount for this and this and this stuff that we didn't even ask for.
Well, I can already tell you, you talking about this sheet? He did all this, so this is for his benefit for taxes. Is the only reason why he did this.
It's justifying his fee.
Right, it's justifying the amount that he charged, so he can write that off. That's all that this, and it's documented that he gave it to us, so that's all that is.
Yeah.
And we asked him a number of different times, I think probably 3 times anyway, for a written proposal. He never would give it. What he intends to do, what we discussed, as far as in detail. And he didn't do it, we went on ahead and went with him, but the reason is because in the business he's in, you don't have that many that are out there doing it. And so we were kind of in a have-to situation to get done what we need. This is what we wound up with.
You tell him to finish it or he gets a free plot.
We might negotiate that, but
You can tell him that. I'm not gonna.
I'm not embarrassed at that. I'm not comfortable recommending you guys pay the contract, not from what I saw and what I heard.
I would suggest having the attorney write him a letter stating that if he was to present the plot in a, I guess, lucid or logical format that is understandable, then he would be paid upon presentation of that.
We want to pay him.
Right.
As a
Yeah.
committee, we think he ought to be paid. But we also want the product that we're paying for, that we expected to get, that can be used.
When the job is finished,
Yeah.
then it gets paid, and the job's not finished.
Yes.
Just have to keep trying to talk to him.
He'll have a collection of David Hamilton letters. Put them in his scrapbook. But I'll send
That'd be
I'll
nice.
send you one after this meeting, so the city council wasn't any different than the cemetery committee with your approval.
So you've already sent him.
I sent him one on behalf of the cemetery committee, but I'll send him another one that says, hey, didn't work out any better for you at the council meeting, as a matter of fact. Okay? Yeah.
Brandon, what's this?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. 9H, Purchasing Information Board for Union Grove Cemetery.
Mayor, I think we may have to revisit this one. Yes. If you look, I don't think this is what everyone thought it was. This has a rubber backing, and there's no case to it at all. The committee had thought that this was one like we have at the park with the hinge door, but I looked this up a little bit more, and this is not the one everybody thought it was. So we may want to look at that again before we order no doors.
If you use one for the current plot, you have to have 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, I said if you use one for the current plot that we received, then you have to have 3 or 4 of them.
Or 5 or 6.
Right.
We,
Color coded.
Yeah,
so-
this one I don't think will work for us.
what's at the park, so we,
The one at the park's
Yeah.
perfect, and that's what we thought this one was.
No.
But this has no door to it, this is just an open. Okay, I don't think there's much price difference, but
There'll be no action on item 9H. We'll have to put it back on the agenda for next month. Item 9I, appointment of replacement of Bailey Clark from the Parks and Trail Committee.
Who's chair at the time?
we've recommended Patricia Wood. She's been an ad hoc member. She's been fantastic helping us with different events.
Does a certain chair have to nominate, or can we, can we?
Well,
If it's in, here we go.
Yeah.
answer that now.
If it's for an empty chair, isn't it?
Yes.
There's not a procedure on this. I mean, when everybody appointed, everybody got to do one. But there's a vacant chair, there's not a harm or a foul if one person says, I want to nominate this one, or the whole council says, look, who's around that can do this. Because there's not a process in place for that, so, especially for a replacement. Now, if somebody's jealous and wants to go do the research on their own and contact somebody and come back in 30 days and then table it and then come back in 60 days, then we can do it that way too. However you guys want to float this is okay. Or somebody can say, Miss Woods might be real wonderful to do this.
I think Miss Woods would be wonderful.
you're making a motion?
I make a motion that we appoint Patricia Wood on the Parks and Trail Committee Board.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Willows, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to appoint Tricia Woods to the Parks and Trail Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
We're gonna move back now to the, let me see that. Item 8A, monthly bills and purchase orders for April 2017. B, minutes for April 2017 city council meetings. C, financial update for April 2017. And D, monthly activity reports for April 2017 from Number 1, the Police Department, 2, Public Works Department, and 3, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve item A through D, 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Willows to approve item 8A through D and 1 through 3. All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned, 7:05 PM.